Hi, I'm Faith Sidla with the Department of Mass Communication and Journalism in the College of Arts and Humanities. The course I'm redesigning is MCJ 172 Media Law. One of the technology tools I learned during the Summer Academy was VideoScribe, and I'm going to try to deliver my report out video using this tool. The key elements of my redesign include the following. I rewrote my student learning outcomes using the updated Bloom's taxonomy, and I've made sure the assignments are relevant. I've eliminated 2 of 4 Scantron exams and replaced them with a group research paper. Students will work both individually and as a group to write a paper and produce a related video. I redesigned my syllabus and Blackboard to make them more student-friendly and better organized. My videos have been digitized and are being uploaded to the streaming service for student access outside the classroom, and I'm incorporating rubrics into Blackboard for grading of class discussions and group research papers. When I began teaching this class 4 years ago, it was strictly lecture followed by 4 multiple-choice true-false exams. A lot of class time was used showing videos to illustrate concepts and tell stories, but students weren't engaged. I've been working to make the course more interactive, but I've found students still come to class unprepared. They haven't read the text, and they don't participate in class discussions. I've tried daily iClicker quizzes and weekly discussion board assignments, but I haven't really noticed an increase in retention. I've also tried group discussions in which students worked out solutions to hypothetical situations, and while they were more engaged, they were still unable to answer exam questions dealing with the same concepts we discussed in class. My plan is to flip my classroom so students spend more time outside class reading assignments, watching videos, and doing research, and more time in class engaged in meaningful discussions. I started doing this on a small scale last semester with my group discussions. Previously, I had each group discuss the same hypothetical situation at the same time and then respond to a list of questions with the entire class. I found students weren't prepared and that the same 2 or 3 students did all of the talking. This time, I gave students a list of 9 questions in advance. They had to turn in hard copies in class with the answers, which improved attendance, and then the questions started with key terms or concepts, moved up to a theme or idea, and then applied the concepts to real life. Some of the comments during the Technology Academy made me realize that my groups of 5 to 8 students were too large for ideal discussion. There were always a couple students who didn't participate and then a couple who monopolized the discussion. At the Academy, we talked about the Think, Pair, Share concept, which offers more structured discussion and gives students who don't speak up an opportunity to be heard. Also, as a result of the Academy, I've decided to experiment with a group research paper and video project. In the past, students who completed research papers in my class for extra credit remarked how much more they learned doing the research than they did reading the text and studying for exams. I plan to use intensive peer evaluations to get all of the students involved in the planning and execution of these projects. I've struggled with my student learning outcomes until attending this academy. I couldn't understand why my outcomes didn't work with my assignments and vice versa. With the help of my instructional designer, Sue Yang, I rewrote my learning outcomes and then I redesigned my assignments based on those outcomes. With the help of Chris Hernandez, I'm designing a post-semester survey to give to my spring 2013 media law students. The survey will assess their perceptions and level of engagement related to a whole bunch of different things: iClicker quizzes, Blackboard discussion forums, in-class discussion groups, discussion group assignments, discussion questions, extra credit research papers, in-class videos, the text, handouts, internet articles, the lengthy exam review packet, types of exam questions, number of exams, and students' perception of my grading structure. Although students will participate in the survey after they've received their grades, I'm hoping their responses will give me an idea of their perceptions of the class prior to the redesign. I will then give my fall 2013 students a similar survey and compare the results. I'm planning to get almost all of this done for the fall 2013 semester. I've already completed my syllabus redesign and I'm working on my Blackboard redesign now. I've converted all of my VHS videos to digital. They should be uploaded to the streaming service before the beginning of the fall semester. I'm in the process of rewriting my exams and the research assignment and adding the learning outcomes to the assignments so students will understand exactly what they're supposed to accomplish. The Summer Academy is one of the most beneficial workshops I've ever attended. The main highlight for me was being able to brainstorm with other faculty who are as interested in learning new technology as I am. I gleaned so many ideas from just listening to everyone talk. Some of the highlights: the emphasis on authentic learning activities instead of exams, learning about grades first and the new improved Blackboard, especially how to add rubrics to individual assignments, and also learning about new technology. But this is the short list. There were so many things really that I learned and so many highlights. I don't really have a lot of concerns. I guess the thing that I'm most worried about is overdoing technology. I have a tendency to want to do too many things at once. Each semester I've added new elements, but I've never eliminated any of the old elements. I'm also concerned that my students won't do the out-of-class assignments much as they don't do the out-of-class readings, but I can't wait to find out. I also want to say thanks mainly to Title V and TILT. Because of them, I learn something new every single day about teaching effectively, and I am so grateful.